All right, so we're in the beginning of doing life healing choices, and I know this uh, program, this course will bring up different things for each of us, but um, I'm not immune from that. And as I said in our last meeting, um, I'm doing it not just to help facilitate it because I believe it's valuable for us, um, but that I believe that I'm doing it hoping to gain something from it too. I also warned that we may find ourselves getting some things stirred up as we press into um, some of this stuff, and that has certainly been the case for me. The past few days, my anxiety level has honestly been pretty high, and while part of me says that's an affront to the reign of Jesus, certain things combine to a kind of spiraling away from any kind of rest in Him, and the absence of rest is not overly pleasant. For me, trying to work with technology is frequently a trigger. Um, some of you know we've been trying to get a podcast going, and some of the obstacles to that are simply my inability to navigate technology. So that's a trigger for me. It feels overwhelming, and I have an expectation, and it almost always seems to happen that something goes wrong. And the last couple days have been those kind of days for me. So we probably all have something. Speaking in front of a crowd, for example, for me, that is a big fear for a lot of people. But for me, that's not really a problem. It's not something that concerns me, um, and in fact, I enjoy the opportunity to do that. Um, but to format a document or to create something and then have that go from my computer to a printer um, seems to be a problem for me. And so, it instantly, when I have those kind of things in front of me, um, I can I can move to a place of shallow breathing and dilated pupils, and I'm just kind of a mess. There's something about technology that makes me feel panicky and out of control. I don't necessarily understand the reason for this, and it may be that there's others who can do this work instead of me, and that's something I'm actually really praying for. Um, with the ministry that we do, that God would send someone who can do some of that, some of the administrative, secretarial, and computer, doing posters and signs and some of that stuff. It's just I'm not good at it, and I'm really not. And part of me wants to learn, but I think I'm better using computers as a hobbyist. So, but nobody's good at everything. This does not seem to be. Um, this does seem this whole experience and the way I've been feeling the last couple of days does seem linked to that first choice needed for recovery. What Life's Healing Choices calls the reality choice. And that reality choice, choice number one, is admitting need. Could my anxiety, in this case, be linked to an unhealthy desire to be able to do everything in and of my own power, essentially to be my own God? Life's Healing Choices starts off by linking Matthew 5:3, which says, "Happy are those who know they're spiritually poor," with the first step of the 12 steps, which says, "I am powerless and that my life is unmanageable." I don't honestly feel overly happy about my areas of inability. Um, they make me feel stupid. They make me feel insecure. They make me still feel frustrated and angry. But they seem to point. They seem to be God's favorite way of reminding us of our need for Him and His way of being and living. Pain, anxiety, and the like point out and remind us where we are in areas unplugged, as it were, from Him as our source of joy, peace, and life. Trying to play God is, in fact, at the root of all of our problems. And the book, Life's Healing Choices, says the result is wearing masks in order to fool others. Of course, the worst part of that is we might actually fool ourselves. Um, and then we live for others and not for God. And the book also says we try to control our pain with things like new relationships, substance use and abuse, busyness, and so on. Fear stands in the way of our healing. healing. And part of that, one of those fears, is fear of exposure. But the result of living the way we do and are, perhaps, maybe not totally, but in some areas, is the book cites 4 F words: um, fear, frustration, fatigue, and failure. And let me tell you, I feel all of those today because I allowed it to kind of run out of control as I continue to press into things that were not working, not happening, and so got myself in kind of a tizzy. But I thought I'd be transparent with the friends I'm doing this group with. All right, the hope is in this. There's hope in this. Healing begins with getting real about our powerlessness. His promise to us in our brokenness is grace. Grace in His presence within us, and the power of God. It's His presence within us, and it's the power of God within us, leading to an identity, path, and destination that is freedom. First steps take courage, but He promises to fill our need and to walk with us. Trusting Jesus is far more than some far off hope, merely that He has us covered in the afterlife. It is about yielding progressively, inch by inch, our lives to Him in each and every area of need. Today, I found a part of me strongly resisting this posture of submission and admission, and the result has been a tremendous dis-ease, very uncomfortable actually within me. Dis-ease. You get that word, dis-ease, and you allow these kind of attitudes, these kind of feelings to happen for a long time. They do cause disease. They do wear you down. Whereas the joy of the Lord fills you with strength and vitality. So, Lord, I say it and ask that you would help me to really mean it as I say it. Matthew 5:3 in the Message by Eugene Peterson says it quite beautifully. It says, "You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there is more of God and His rule." Matthew 5:3. Beautiful words. God bless you. I pray that you'd be leaning into Him and find some of those breakthroughs. And I'm hoping I'm writing kind of in the throes of a level of stress, but I know that He's there, and I know He will be there, and I know He desires to guide us out of it. Thank you, Jesus, and thank you for watching.